Question 22a was as follows. The components of the vector AO and OB are 2, 3 and 4, 2 respectively. Write AB as a column vector. So what we're going to do here is we're going to write an expression that will help us to come up with BA as a column vector. Okay, so once we've done this, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to open bracket. Okay, then now let's focus on this column vector, which is B. Okay, the column vector B, which has got OB, the column vector which has got O, this the one I've circled there. Okay, let's see, concentrate on this column vector, the one I've circled there, which is 4, 2. Now that is OB. That's OB. Now OB is written as, in this expression is written as BO. That means 4, 2 will change their signs and become negative 4. It will be negative 4 and negative 2, close bracket, then plus OA. OA is just the same, so we're going to write plus. Now OA is here. Okay, that's OA. So what we're going to do now is we're going to write plus 3, 2. Okay, then once we've done this, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add them. So before I add, I'm going to write B. Okay, BA is equal to, then open bracket, negative 4 plus 2 will give us negative 2. Negative 2 plus 3 will give us 1, which will be, that is the column vector of BA, which is negative 2, 1. Okay, now I've written BA as a column vector. Okay, now we can go to the next question. Question 22b was as follows. The diagram below shows a sketch of the graph of y is equal to 5 minus 4x minus x squared. And the questions are: find 1, coordinates of the points A and B. 2, find maximum value of y. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to start with the question 1, which is to find the coordinates of the points A and B. So what we're going to use the equation in the question, which describes the graph, which is this equation, which is y is equal to 5 minus 4x minus 5x squared, sorry, minus x squared. So what we're going to do now here is we are going to write this equation here. Okay, now once we've written this equation, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change it to quadratic equation, which is going to be like this one: 5 minus 4x minus x squared is equal to 0. Then what we're going to do next now is we're going to express negative 4x into two numbers that can give us a product of 5x and the sum of negative 4. Okay, that can give us the product of negative 5x and the sum of negative 4x. So we're going to write 5, then 4 we're expressing it into two numbers, which I just said earlier on. So the numbers that we can multiply to get negative 5x squared are negative 5 and positive 1. And if you add these, they are going to give us negative 4. So we're going to have negative 5x plus 1x is equal or minus x squared is equal to 0. Okay, now once I've done this, I'm going to put them in groups. So 5 and excuse me, 5 minus negative x, 5 minus negative 5x will form one group, and x minus x squared will form another group. So now I'm going to factorize this. So I'm going to look for a number that can go into 5 and also into negative 5x, Okay, so the number that can go into 5 and negative 5x is 5 itself. So 5 divided by 5 will give us 1. 5x, negative 5x divided by 5 will give us negative 1. Or negative x, sorry, give us negative x. Then once we have done this, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the factors of, or the factor that can go into x and x squared. That factor is x. So we're going to write x, then x into x divided by x will give us 1. Then negative x squared divided by x will give us negative x. Okay, and we're going to close bracket. Now, as you can see, we have come up with the numbers in brackets which are the same. We have got minus x, we have got 1 minus x, as well as in the other brackets we have got 1 minus x. Now, once we have done this, then the thing we're going to do now here is I'm going to get 5 and positive x. We'll put them in one bracket, and then we're going to pick one of those two brackets. So we're going to have 5, okay, I forgot to write which is equal to 0. Then we're going to have 5 plus x, the x which is in between the brackets, which is plus x, is equal to, okay, then we're going to pick one of these brackets, the expression in brackets. So these, I'm going to pick one of these. Okay, so I'm just going to pick on one of those. It doesn't matter which one I pick. So now I'm going to say, I'm going to multiply 5 plus x multiplied by 1 minus x, which is going to give us 0. Now, if two expressions gives you the answer 0, that means one of those expressions is equal to what? 0. So now let's take, for instance, if 5 plus x is equal to 0, what is the value of x? So let's say 5 plus x is equal to 0, what is the value of x? Or if 1 minus x is equal to 0, what is the value of x? Okay, so now let's start with the one in paper, which is 5 plus x is equal to 0. What is the value of x? So we're going to now write, so what we're going to do next here is to put like terms together. That means I'm going to have x is equal to 0. Then 5 will cross the equal sign and become a negative, which is going to be minus 5. Then I'm going to evaluate 0 minus 5. But first, let me write x is equal to 0 minus 5 will give us negative 5. So the value of x is negative 5 when 5 plus x is equal to 0. Okay, so when 5 plus x is equal to 0, the value of x will be negative 5. Okay, now let's come to the right side where we have 1 minus x is equal to 0. What will be the value of x? So when 1 minus x is equal to 0, the value of x will be what? Okay, so let's check. What we're going to do again here, we're going to put like terms together. So I'm going to have x, negative x is equal to 0. Now, since 1 will close the equal sign, it's going to become minus 1. Okay, so negative x is equal to 0 minus 1 will give us minus negative 1 or minus 1. Okay, now once I've reached here, what we need to do next is to get rid of the negative sign on the x side. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide both sides by negative 1. So you can also divide both sides by a negative sign. Okay, but I'm going to use negative 1. So I can say divide by negative x divided by negative 1 is equal to negative 1 divided by negative 1. Okay, so negative x divided by negative 1 will give us x. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 will give us 1. So the value of x when 1 minus x is equal to 0 is 1. Okay, now once we have done this, then we can go to the graph now and try to come up with the coordinates. Remember, we are told to find the coordinates of A and B. So let's go to A. The point for A is here, the one I've pointed with a leading point there, and the point of B is here. Now let's find the coordinates. Now we should realize that this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. So when you look at the where the graph is meeting the x-axis, the point which is there, which is B and which is A, you can see that the reading of y-axis is 0. Okay, so therefore the coordinate for A will have the reading of on the y-axis to be 0, as well as for B it will be 0. So what we can do now here is, since we have come up with these coordinates, now we have got -5 and 1. So which one is going to be -5 and which one is going to be +1? So as you can see, A is on the negative signs, right? And it's a bit far away from the y-axis than B, and B is on the positive side. So as you can see, so B will get the +1 and A will get -5. So we can say the coordinate for point A is, for point B is 1, 0, 1, 0, and the coordinate for B is -5, 0, -5, 0. Okay, then we come to question 2, which is find the maximum value of y. So the formula we use to find the maximum value of y is this one. Okay, so what we're going to do now here is we're going to identify which one is A, B, and C. So we're going to use this equation which is on top here. Okay, this is the equation we're going to use. Okay, so I want you to focus on that equation as I name those terms in the equation as A and B, so that you don't get lost. So in that equation, the term which is A, the term which is A is this one, okay, the one on top there. Then the term which is B is that one, and the term which is C is that one, 5. Okay, now once we have known that, then the next thing we're going to do is this. We are going to ask ourselves to say, we have got here y, we have got y is equal to 4ac minus b. So what is the value of A there? So we know that A has got the coefficient which is 1, which is -1. So it's going to be -1. So we're going to say 4 multiplied by -1. Then what is the value of C? C we are told is 5. So we're going to multiply by 5. Then what is the value of B? The value of B is -4. So we're going to say minus -4. Okay, then once we have done that, then we're going to now come down here. We have got 4. What is the value of A? It's -1. Okay, then what we're going to do now here is we are going to evaluate first this expression on top. Okay, that's the one we're going to focus first on, the expression on top. So what we're going to do now here is we're going to say 4 times -1 will give us -4. -4 times 5 will give us -20. Okay, so it will give us -20. Okay, then we focus on -4 squared. -4 squared is going to give us positive, which is going to be positive times, so it's going to be -16. Okay, then -16, which will be over 4 times -1 will give us -4. Okay, then we're going to evaluate -20 minus 16 will give us -36, which will be divided by -4. -36 divided by -4 will give us +9. So the maximum value of y in that graph is 9. The maximum value in that graph, the maximum value of y in that graph is 9. So basically those were the answers. If you have got questions, you can ask in the comment section. Otherwise, let's go to the final question, which is question number 23.